Hello there, welcome to NTV English News Bulletin. I'm Bhavana Casey. In the beginning, we have the headlines. Election Commission starts accepting applications from parties interested in contesting elections under proportional representation system from today, deadline till August 28. Ruling Congress kicks up its first phase of election publicity campaign from today. 5-party task force on seat allocation to meet today as well. WHO says more than 1 million people died of COVID-19 in 2022 so far. 1/3 of the world's population remains unvaccinated. And Nepal facing host Kenya in second match of the 5-day T20 International, eyes to register victory in today's match as well. Welcome back. You are with NTV English News Bulletin. Now we have the news in details. The Election Commission has started accepting the application from the political parties interested in contesting elections under the proportional representation system beginning from today. Parties can reach the office of the Chief Returning Officer situated at the premises of the Election Commission. Spokesperson Saligram Sarmapodil informed the parties can submit the applications till September the 28th. Meanwhile, the registration of all 87 parties that applied to participate in the upcoming general election has been approved. The meeting of the seat allocation task force formed by the ruling 5-party coalition is being held this afternoon. The task force will discuss seat sharing among the 5 parties in the November 20 elections to the House of Representatives and Provincial Assembly. The top leaders of the 5 parties have already instructed the task force to finalize and submit a report on the situation of 165 constituencies of the House of Representatives under the first past the post system. The task force has been meeting for almost a month to finalize the distribution. However, the conclusion has not been reached yet. Meanwhile, the ruling Nepali Congress is set to start the election publicity campaign, Congress with People, from today, targeting the November 20 elections to the House of Representatives and Provincial Assembly. The party already has deputed central representatives in all 77 districts for the election. The campaign is being launched in 3 phases. The first phase that kicked off from today will continue till September the 8th, whereas the second phase of the publicity campaign will be launched after nomination registration towards proportional representation, and final phase will kick off following the registration of candidacy under the first past the post system. Meanwhile, the main opposition party, CPNU-ML, is holding its Central Committee meeting today. A meeting of the party's Politburo held on Thursday fixed 11 agendas for the Central Committee meeting set to begin today. Friday's Central Committee meet is part of the party's election centering committee meetings of the various committees from August 23. The party has been holding a series of meetings to formulate the necessary strategy for the House of Representatives and Provincial Assembly elections. The UML said that the meeting of the Standing Politburo Central Committee and the Central Election Mobilization Committee will be held by August the 28th. UML has formed Central Election Mobilization Committee under the chairmanship of Party Chair KP Sharma Oli. With this update, time to go for a short break, but still to come we have. Welcome back. You are with NTV English News Bulletin. Now we have more updates and let's have the latest from the international front. The World Health Organization has revealed that more than 1 million COVID-19 related deaths have been recorded globally in 2022 so far. Since the pandemic began more than 2.5 years ago, more than 6.4 million people have died from COVID-19 across the globe, according to WHO. WHO's Director General Tedros Ghebreyesus said that also urged the call to increase the vaccination efforts. Dr. Tedros urged all governments to strengthen their efforts to vaccinate all health workers, older people and others at the risk of the COVID-19 infection. The WHO said 1/3 of the world's population remains unvaccinated. A former British ambassador to Myanmar, who now heads a business ethics advisory group in the Southeast Asian country, has been arrested on the charges of violating immigration laws by failing to register her change of address, the military government said. It's a Tatmadaw True News information team confirmed in a text message that Vicky Bowman, who served as the British envoy in 2002-06, was detained for failing to inform the authorities last year when she and her husband moved from the registered address in Yangon, the country's biggest city, to Kalau Township in San State in east central Myanmar. It said she was charged under the Immigration Act and the Foreigners Registration Rules. It said Bowman, who has applied for a visa to do business with Myanmar, was charged with breaching visa rules because she did not comply with regulations governing the foreigners. The Iranian military concluded a two-day drill of the unmanned aerial vehicles on Thursday, the drill spokesman Mohammad Moshabi told State TV. During the drill, various combat drones, including Kaman, Mohazar, Ababil, Karar, and Bavar, were used. Home-ground Qaim bombs, Almas missiles, and 5 K-82 bombs to destroy the targets, including command and control centers, fuel tanks, ammunition depots, and radar and missile systems. On the first day of the drill, the UAVs manufactured by the Iranian Army and the Defense Ministry successfully carried out the monitoring missions in border areas and in international waters. More updates lined up on the other side, but before that, let's have what we have coming up next. Welcome back. You are with NTV English News Bulletin. Now we have more updates from the international front. Japanese Prime Minister Fumio Kisida's cabinet has approved $1.8 million budget to invite 6,400 guests from Japan and elsewhere to the funeral of the late former Prime Minister Shinzo Abe. Kisida's government plans to hold a state funeral on September the 27th, a plan that has split public opinion amid growing criticism over the governing members' cozy ties with the controversial Korean Church. The Unification Church, which was founded in South Korea in 1954 and came to Japan a decade later, has built close ties with a host of conservative lawmakers, many of them members of Abe's Liberal Democratic Party, on their shared interest of anti-communism. Since the 1980s, the church has faced accusations of problematic recruiting and religious cells in Japan, and the governing party's church ties have sent support ratings of Kisida's cabinet into a nosedive. Glasses are set to be raised again at the world's biggest beer party in the heart of Munich in less than a month. The annual Oktoberfest festival is finally on again for the 6 million revelers visited the celebrations annually. More updates line up on the other side, but before that, let's have what we have coming up next. Now to sports. Nepal is playing the second T20 match with host Kenya at the Gymkhana Cricket Ground in Nairobi today. Nepal defeated Kenya by 5 wickets to start with a win in the first T20 International Cricket Series on Thursday. In Friday's match, Nepal scored 133 runs at the loss of 5 wickets in 19.2 overs. Dipendra Singh Airi top scored with 33 runs. With the win, Nepal has taken a 1-0 lead in the 5-match series. Botic van de Danschulp's quest for the first ATP title took another big step on Thursday night. The second-seeded Dutchman defeated France's Benjamin Bonzi 7-6, 7-6 in the Winston-Salem Open. He will play next Frenchman Adrien Manarino in the semi-finals. Well, this brings us to the end of this English News Bulletin, but before we say goodbye, let's have a quick reminder of the major stories. Election Commission starts accepting applications from parties interested in contesting elections under proportional representation system from today, deadline till August 28. Ruling Congress kicks off its first phase of election publicity campaign from today. Five-party task force on seat allocation to meet today as well. WHO says more than 1 million people died of COVID-19 in 2020-22. So far, one-third of the world's population remains unvaccinated. And Nepal facing host Kenya in the second match of the 5-day T20 International eyes to register victory in today's match as well. Well, that's all we have in this edition of English News Bulletin. We shall see you again with next round of English Bulletin at 6 in the evening. Till then, have a great time ahead and stay tuned with us. Namaste.